All right, and we're good to go. Okay, so my question, while we're looking for the link, is I don't want you guys to say it right away, but I want you to think of who won E3 between Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. Think about that, and then we'll get to that at the very end. Right before we end this thing, I think we should talk about who won. But I want to see also if we can change our minds, because at the moment I'm swinging between two, and I'm not sure 100% which one I want to go with. So if you both have your idea, we'll go with that. But now, my question to both of you is, when you think of E3, Kevin, let's start with you. What do you think? Just boom, just right off the top of your head, just whatever comes to your mind. What do you think of E3 this year?
Like it as a whole?
Yeah, as a whole.
Fantastic. Best it's been in a few years, for sure. I was really happy with a lot of stuff from kind of all over the place. Like, not even just the big conferences, but the smaller ones as well.
What do you think were the standouts for you? Not necessarily games, just maybe an announcement, just like a few things that pop up into your mind. For example, for me, I think of No Man's Sky from Sony. I think of the Master Chief Collection from Microsoft. I think of all of Nintendo's new quirky games. Legend of Zelda, like that blew my mind. Splatoon.
Mario Maker.
Mario Maker. There's so much different ideas from Nintendo that come to my mind.
Conquer, I did not expect.
Well, technically,
Spark, I was like, that was weird with Project Spark with Conquer just popping out of nowhere, but that was pretty interesting.
Well,
kind of lazy, but I think it was interesting.
Yeah. They're talking about doing right by the property, right? Giving you enough flexibility in the game to really use it properly.
Yes.
So hopefully that doesn't, in fact, flesh out. We'll see whether that happens or not. That doesn't preclude Rare from making their own games still. Just wouldn't be on the road.
They're way too focused on Connect Sports. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Jason, did you have anything else to add? Like, was there anything specific that you think of E3? How did you find it this year?
Freaking fantastic. Compared to the last few years, this one has been a lot better compared to those. And honestly, Pac-Man jumps out to my mind. You always hear rumors about Pac-Man, and people just being like, Pac-Man should be in it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, Pac-Man's in it. Oh, okay. But yeah, I thought that was nice on. But now you got like pretty much the big four, like retro kind of people. You got Pac-Man, you got Mega Man, you got Sonic, and you got Mario. Now I'm all in one game now, finally. So it'll be. I don't know. I thought that was great.
So many characters for Smash. It's insane. Like, they added another one from Kid Icarus. All the Miis that are being added as actual characters, and they all have, like, you can choose from 3 different kinds of Mii battle styles, I guess.
And like that, to me, that was the biggest thing. Like, actual Smash Brothers. Like, obviously the primary characters aren't really going to be affected by it, like the main roster of characters that they preload. But I know they talked a lot about, or not a lot, but they talked a little bit about character customization and choosing move sets and leveling up, which I think mostly is applied to the amiibo things. But it all looks pretty cool. Like, I'm like, ugh, amiibo, and then they talked about leveling it up, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm listening.
Just a little gimmick to get kids to buy it, and they're like, oh, wait, there's actual, like, a little bbit more here. Okay, yeah. I wonder
there's a little substance.
How is that going to work, though? Like, okay, so you have this, like, Smash is going to be the first one to have, and so you put it on top, and then that character shows up in Smash, and do you play as that character now? Instead of, like, selecting Mario, I can just put my amiibo Mario there, and he also levels up? Like, if I don't have amiibo, will he still level up? There's a lot that I would probably have to look into that.
I think it might be just a computer playing as the amiibo. I'm not sure. Well, it's like a weird. It's kind of like an item trophy, I think, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I didn't entirely get it either.
I didn't either.
Like, it sounded to me like the main roster of characters won't level up, but the amiibos will.
Okay, and the amiibos are almost like sidekicks, kind of like how during the battle between. Also, Nintendo did not have the conference, which sucks. I mean, I think we all want them to have a conference, especially this year. But I really liked the humor in the entire presentation that they had.
Those robot chicken sequences.
It was so good because they addressed so many things that like fans would talk about. It's like, we don't have a conference this year, not my problem.
Yeah, where you shot the guy accident about the new Star Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then it actually happened.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't like. I still don't understand why they blurred Star Fox at the end. Like, we obviously pretty much knew that it was Star Fox, and then they confirm it. They say, yes, we are working on Star Fox, and then they show they have people that are playing out on the game floor. So obviously we know that there's a Star Fox. Why didn't they just go out and say they could have had Miyamoto playing it, and we could see him playing it, and he turns around and he's all happy. That would have been cool. I'm lagging, aren't I?
A little bit, maybe.
Okay.
But the yeah, it's just weird. Like they don't show any of that. They don't show any of Mario Party 10. And then after their video finishes, this news trickles out that, hey, we have Star Fox for the Wii U and we have Mario Party 10. Like, how did they not find 2 or 3 minutes cut out of developer talk and shoehorn those in there?
Yeah.
Like,
or just add another 3 minutes to your video.
It's not like they were.
They're not even on a time constraint. Like, yeah, at E3, like Sony and Microsoft are limited to 90 minutes. They have a time constraint. With Nintendo, the beauty of that is that they don't need a time constraint. They could have just kept going on, and they only went half the time that Microsoft and Sony went. They should have added that. And there was a few other things like 3DS owners, like is it called Fantasy Life? Is that what it's called? Something Life. For the 3DS game that's coming out. Yeah.
Forget, actually.
Yeah, but there's a few things. And Mario Party 10 is like, okay, Mario Party 9, Mario Party 8, yada yada yada. It's just it's just a number tacked on. Mario Party 10, that to me is pretty big. It's the first Wii U Mario Party, and it's actually something where they could have really shown the gamepad. Like,
have you
show
seen
your
the gameplay for it though?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like 9. That just ruined it for me. As soon as I saw the gameplay.
It ruined.
Honestly.
Well, the board part of it, that really sucks. But the gameplay looks pretty fun, and that you can also play as Bowser with the gamepad. That makes me think, like, I'm just gonna play the game from the mini games. I wish that the board game would go back to how it used to be, because that's how you play a board game. You do not go around all together. That's stupid. But
yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
But playing as Bowser, that's pretty cool, because that means like 1 versus 4, so it's kind of like Nintendo Land in that aspect. So I'm just like really excited for that. I'm excited for the mini games. I might just like play, like for Mario Party 9, all I would do is like have people over and we would just go through the mini games.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. So yeah. But other than that, okay, so what were your favorite things from? Let's go with your favorite things from Microsoft, Sony, and then Nintendo. So first of all, Microsoft. What were your guys' favorite things? Jason, we'll start off with you.
Why me first?
Okay, so Kevin.
I remember 2 days ago, like what just happened.
So long.
Give me a second.
Okay, Master Chief Collection for me. I'm super psyched for Master Chief Collection. I knew we pretty much knew that this was, or there was a rumor that this was going to happen. Or at least an anniversary for Halo 2. But now it's like, is my Harvest Moon character showing up when I talk?
At the moment.
Him earlier, but he's not there now.
Okay.
It's like back.
Oh, it's back to normal? Okay. All right. I'm just really, I just think that's insane that it's like all 4 games in one, 4,000 gamer points, and they're including all the multiplayer maps. That's insane. That is just nuts. So I'm just like, that to me is a reason to buy the Xbox One. And I really think that when that is released in November, we're going to see like a huge increase in sales for the Xbox One.
For sure.
Because right now...
Yeah, that's right.
Blast it.
When did
We're
we
going to
have
have infringement.
It was like a rock version of the Game of Thrones theme. It's so good.
Really?
Yeah.
I Now I actually want to hear it again. Speaking of game, no, let's not even talk about Game of Thrones. We only have like an hour to talk about this. So, I think that out of everything that Microsoft had, because the Xbox One really aren't doing that well, and I think right now they've just started the new. It's $400 now, and they're still not seeing like a huge increase yet. So I think that this is definitely going to be the thing that does it. What else is coming out this year from Microsoft? Scalebound and Crackdown are later.
So I'm trying to think first party. I can't really think of much except just third party stuff, really.
Sunset Overdrive.
Yep.
So this year?
Forza Horizon 2.
Yeah, and Forza Horizon 2. Okay, so that I think that
okay.
They look good, and I think that people will pick them up, but I don't think that they're going to really drive the sales. I think Master Chief Collection is what's really going to get it going, and then people will also be able to pick up Sunset Overdrive and Forza as well. Well, Forza might get a few sales there. That's
probably will.
And the Master Chief bundle does come with the Halo 5 beta too, which people are going to want.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. I think we'll definitely see a spike of Xbox One sales over the next little while, because technically the new $399 only goes on sale, 2 days ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not on sale, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then there's some other cool things coming later in the year as well. There's I think they said Dance Central's coming out this holiday as well. I know.
Yeah.
And Project Spark beta, or not beta, but Project Spark is actually going to become like a real full-fledged, thing.
Yeah.
Which I realize isn't really a big, thing for a lot of people, but it's actually surprisingly fun. Have you tried it, Jason?
I did. I played one of the betas. What did I play? I played like a few, but most of them were just like really clunky at the time. I think that's when it was just starting to come out, though.
Yeah.
But at the time I played it, it wasn't that great, at least at the time.
Yeah. I see. Well, then you got obviously the multi-platform stuff that's going to help too, like Assassin's Creed Unity and Battlefield and Dragon Age, Call of Duty. Is Tomb Raider this year?
Next year.
Next year? Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
I want that.
Drive sales. Me too.
Yeah,
it's not
going to be good.
What else was it?
The big thing for me from the Microsoft conference, though, Crackdown. I want that game so bad.
I don't even think they put it. I don't even think that they put a 2015 at the end of that, did they?
I don't think.
I know it's not coming out this year.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe late next year, by like fall 2015.
Yeah, fall 2015, or maybe even 2016. Because I think if it would have been 2015, they might have put like 2015. They didn't call it anything either, right? Right? They just like Crackdown. They didn't say Crackdown 3. Okay. What?
I think they're rebooting it, basically going back to like starting the story again, sort of thing. But not like it'll be its new spin, so it'll be basically like a Crackdown 3.
Okay.
But I don't think they're calling it Crackdown 3. Or they're just not going that far yet. Actually,
I absolutely loved the first one. I played like the demo of the second one. I really did not like it. But the first one, when I first got the 360, I absolutely loved it. Fantastic.
Yeah, the first Crackdown was probably the game that I played the most co-op on the 360.
Yeah, me too.
Online co-op,
Okay.
which was fantastic. So much fun. The only other thing I can think of for late this year for the Xbox One is the Killer Instinct Season 2, which is going to add a whole bunch of more fighters.
That's what's happening? Because I didn't catch what they were doing with Season 2. I
think it's November.
Okay.
So that'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Even I'm slightly interested in the Halo Master Chief Collection, and I'm not really a Halo fan. The only reason I would get it just to play through the campaign stuff. I wouldn't probably do the multiplayer, or very rare. But
we could play co-op single player, so we could play all the campaigns together.
Cool, that would work because I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I eventually want to play like Legendary and beat the entire like 4 of them. I would have to do that co-op though, because I don't want to do that solo. That's just going to take way too long.
I actually do want to play the first one. I've never played the first one.
What?
But I played
Okay, well, this is like
but I played the
perfect.
second. But I played 2, 3, and 4. I
Okay.
never played the first one, and all the ones in between, like ODST, Reach, stuff like that. But
Reach is good. I haven't played ODST.
ODST,
But,
you can pass on that one.
probably.
It's not, no, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Reach was really good, though.
Yeah, Reach I liked. Reach was more like actual Halo. ODST was like not. It's weird, but no,
Yeah.
that's not.
Well, yeah, no Spartans.
Yeah, exactly.
What were you gonna say, Kevin?
Oh, I was just gonna say if the price is right, I'm thinking now's the time to jump into the Halo because, if I can basically get all 4 of those games for a little bit more than a regular price of a game or something, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's 60. Apparently, I'm just going from like pre-orders, but it's either gonna be like $60 to $70. So
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
regular retail for 4 games, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
If they keep it at that price range, which I assume they will. That's awesome, though. I'm so happy that you're going to be getting. Well, maybe that you'll be getting that.
Maybe. I've kind of backed off of this Future Shop pre-order thing a little bit. 'Cause,
Really?
it's online only, right? So I can't walk
Right.
into a store and do it, which means I'm pretty sure you'll have to pay for everything up front.
Yeah.
It could be like what me and my brother are doing. We're just buying everything digital from now on. At least Xbox One wise.
I can't.
I don't know. Xbox One, unless it's like a really good collectible, I don't really. I don't know. Lately, I just haven't wanted physical copies. I have my reasons, but
Yeah, I love physical copies.
I
hate
do
them.
too. But
I just can't do it. And I
Yeah.
love the Xbox cases too. The green is perfect.
Like,
it is nice.
have you ever seen them in the light? I don't even have an Xbox One, but I walked by because I'm going to be picking up one very soon, and I looked at them and like the lighting was on it, and it just like glows almost.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And this actually kind of brings me back to I was watching your Mario Kart video
Mm-hmm.
after you got that, and I noticed the case is red. And
Yeah.
I was like, no. That's
Yeah.
bull. Like, it's got to be blue. Like
Nintendo
all
always
those
does
other
that.
Wii U games.
I know.
I hate it.
Yeah. It's not like it makes sense for New Super Mario Bros. Wii to be red. I don't know, for some reason I can accept that, but like not Mario Kart.
I like all of my cases to match. I'm a little neurotic that way.
Not only that, but hold on.
It's gotta go grab it. There it is.
Okay. So
Hold on.
red case, right?
Mhm.
All red everywhere, right? Okay. It's not supposed to be like this because it kind of goes against the grain, but it looks okay. It looks all of it is red.
Mhm.
For this goddamn thing, they decided to go with blue and red. Like that's just what? That's
Like, there's
so,
no reason for it.
Yeah. I don't understand why they did that. I still like it. It doesn't make any sense. Like you can tell just from looking at these two, one of them just does not mesh.
Yeah. It's wrong.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So, oh, God, no. What? Well, so why aren't you going for the future? Like, oh, because you can't get it day one. Yeah, you don't have to pay it up front. Apparently, from what I've heard, you pre-order them and you pay when they're launched. So
Really?
when they ship it. Yeah, from what I've heard, because I was looking at a lot of them. So it's depending on who you go with, but I'm going through Best Buy because they have you save a little bit more, and they have free shipping. It's going to take a little bit longer to get here, I guess, like a few days, not that much.
Yeah.
So that's my only thing that's holding me back from some of these games is that you can't get it day one, unless you're lucky, because they apparently, if you depending on where you live, if the place that they're shipping it from is close enough, you might be able to get it day one, but most chances are you won't. So Master Chief Collection, that I'm not picking up there because I want to get it at midnight because I'm taking the day off on that day. On the 11th of November this year, I'll be taking that day off. getting the game at midnight.
5 months ahead of time.
Pardon me?
You're already 5 months ahead of time. You already put in for that day.
Mm-hmm. I'm real serious with that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah, like my big thing is I don't want to pay. I just don't want to. Like I was thinking about picking up like as many as like 6 or more games, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna, like, I want to get the $20 off each of them because they're all going to be like $70 and stuff like that. Like basically anything that I was interested in for the holiday, I figure I'll just put the pre-order in and save $20. I might as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just want to make sure 100% that when I do that, I'm not going to have to put out like 300. No, wait, hold on.
Close to. I have 6
Yeah.
games in my cart right now, and I'm at 280, but 2 of them are 3DS games. So
like, I'm wondering how you actually process that because it's gonna like you'd think it would want you to pay for them.
it's kind of like when you pre-order on Amazon or anything else that's online. You don't have to pay it until it's shipped. So
Okay.
I guess they just hold. Like right now, I also have a pre-order for the Tales of Xillia 2.
Okay.
From Future Shop. Yeah, I pre-ordered it. I got screwed over with Symphonia with that, so I was like, and I tried to get like, I went to EB Games, they didn't have it. Well, they had already sold out by the time that I went there, so I just went online and I pre-ordered Tales of Xillia 2. So right now they haven't charged me yet. On August 19th, or like maybe a few days before, if they ship it early, that's when they'll charge it.
So you don't even pay a deposit then?
No, they haven't charged me one.
Interesting. So I'm thinking like when these games are all added to your cart and everything, they'll just know that you added X number of games between the 9th and the 12th because those are the only periods of time that are applicable to this $20 off per game thing, right?
Exactly, yeah. Well, it's basically because, like, I guess online they have the receipt that this is when they bought it and you bought it at this price. So that right now they just look at it as a regular pre-order. Okay, this person bought it online. When the day comes, we ship that out.
Because I'm going to pick up NHL that way and save money there. So
yeah.
$70.
Have you seen how the new one looks?
Yeah, it looks awesome.
That looks freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
One thing they really do good.
I really want that game. It's been a year
I might
since
consider it. Oh, they're showing the new Monster Hunter right now.
Pardon me?
Oh, sorry. I was just looking at the Nintendo Twitch thing.
Oh, okay.
The new Monster Hunter right now. Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to stream.
It looked like you were about to say something too, Gavin. Were you about to say something, or?
No, I think I'm good. We should probably move on, I suppose.
Okay. Speaking of good-looking games, which ones do you think really stood out this year? My favorites in terms of graphics, where I was actually blown away, would be Witcher 3. What else? Zelda U looks fantastic.
That looks
gorgeous.
It does. Yeah.
It's awesome. Like I love the way that Nintendo's actually just like, we're not going to go for the ultra high, realism because if we do that, we're going to be put to shame by what the other two systems are capable of. Yeah. So we're going to do our own art style and we're going to make that look so ridiculously nice that nobody's even going to care.
But then they're gonna try to replicate like they usually always do though. Eventually. Yeah. They always try replicating whatever Nintendo does.
It kind of seems like what they did with Legend of Zelda Wind Waker when it was what's that called? The cell shading. That's kind of like they went in a different approach. It's not cell shading, but I don't really know what it is. But they kind of made it like it's almost everything's like crystals. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixture between the art style of Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess, in my opinion, because I find Skyward Sword is like a grown-up version of Wind Waker a little bit, but not like a little more washed out. Mm-hmm. And then I found that Twilight Princess was more of like a realism sort of thing. I think they've kind of melded the realism and the cell shading sort of thing all over again. Yeah. Because even Skyward Sword was cell shaded, right?
Yeah, it was. I had to replay that.
But this game is so vibrant by comparison to Skyward Sword.
Yeah, it is, and it just. We'll get into that in a second. But another game that really blew me was Batman. Yeah. That looks so freaking good.
I
And
still have to
Far
play
Cry.
Pac-Man Origins. I keep forgetting to play that. I got it for Christmas last year. It's still sealed. I've never opened it.
Backlogs, man.
got-
Slow you down.
Yeah. And Far Cry looks pretty amazing too from a graphics standpoint.
It does.
Actually, so did the new Rainbow Six.
I still haven't seen that. That's like one of the only
was
games
good.
that I haven't seen
It's awesome.
is Rainbow Six. Okay.
The one thing it did remind me of, at least what they were showing, it reminded me a lot of like Payday 2 with the multiplayer thing. I don't know. The way they had it, the multiplayer wise, the match, you gotta bring like the one per. Well, not. No, I'm not even thinking. I'm thinking Battlefield. Never mind. But Rainbow Six, it was great. But the Battlefield part that I saw from Hardlines reminded me a lot of Payday 2 when you're like capturing and then. Looting.
And I guess if we're counting the Zelda trailer in our talk of what looked the best, we have to probably mention Uncharted then as well, because it looked like the detail in that teaser was incredible.
Yeah. That's the best Drake has ever looked. And what I like about it though is that he looks so real, but he also looks like the Uncharted games are a little bit cartoony, not a lot, but a little bit. Just like not everything is really exactly proportioned, I find, in the Uncharted games.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that they're able to make it look real, but still keep that look, basically. It's as if Mario looked really real. He would look... They could make him look real, but they would still, if they kept his shape and all that kind of stuff. So, And they showed, like, the fly on Drake, I thought looked just insanely real.
All hyped up for a fly.
Well, it's just because it's so real. It looked actually real. Like that actually, like if I saw that flying around, if they would have just zoomed in on that, I would have been like, we're watching like a video of like something real in real life, and we're gonna see somebody. Yeah. So I was happy with that. Okay, let's talk about Zelda, just because I really want to talk about this.
Yeah, Zelda.
So
the rest of the live stream.
Yeah. We could talk about Nintendo almost for the rest of the stream, because like there's so much about it. But yeah, okay.
Direct was good. There's nothing bad about it, I think, other than the amiibo.
40 seconds of footage, and I could talk about it for the rest of the night easily.
I might be broken in October.
Oh yeah. Same.
Yeah, it's gonna be brutal. So yeah, Zelda.
And probably Zelda. Okay, so it just If that's actual footage from the game, and that can actually happen when you're just like hanging out on your horse in the open field, and boom, a monster just creeps along and sees you and decides to go for you and start attacking, that is gonna be freaking awesome. That if part of the game feels kind of like Skyrim, which I think they're kind of going with, maybe that you can kind of just go anywhere you want. Go and do any quest you want, but also that you're in this open environment. You can go to like mountains and all that kind of stuff, but I hope that there's still monsters around there and that they're moving around. So if you do stay still and they're kind of close and they get closer, they do go after you. I think that is just going to be something completely different that we've never had before with the Zelda game.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. Just going back to an open world in itself is going to make this game so much better. The linear storylines have gotten a little stale to a degree. Like, I would still buy it even if it was one, but there's so much more they can do now, and the exploration, which kind of was part of Zelda, a long time ago, they can kind of drag that back. You got that to a degree in A Link Between Worlds, but honestly, that map was so small, like, you could see literally everything from the time you started the game.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it's on the 3DS, and it's not, the Wii U with like the amazing environments.
Yeah, for sure.
I
know everything from that video that they showed us, according to Aonuma. I don't know how the hell to say his name. I just say Aonuma.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Aonuma or something.
I think.
He says that entire thing was in engine.
Yep.
So it's not it's not a cutscene. Well, it's
Say
sort of
that-
it is, but it's not pre-rendered.
Could you? Oh, it's not pre-rendered. Okay.
Yeah. So, which I thought was fantastic.
So does that mean that that's real? Like they actually had just one of the characters, because we don't know if it's exactly Link, or we'll get to that in a second. But like, so the character was just standing there, and there's a monster that saw it and just ran after it. That's real.
I would assume, like, obviously it was scripted, but
Yeah.
but I would imagine if they're showing us something like that, this is something that should be able to happen for sure.
That is so freaking cool. And also that monster looked insane. That monster just like shooting and just destroying everything in its path. That
Yeah,
looked
it was
messed
almost
up.
mechanical.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah.
Like,
I'd have to watch it again there, but freak. Okay, and now the possibility that who we saw wasn't actually Link. I looked at it again. There's parts of it where I'm like, that kind of looks like a really good-looking guy, or it's a girl. There's one part at the very end when basically the last shot that you see this character, and the character is moving like this, and when it
whoop.
kind of looks like a girl,
Yeah.
but there's no boobs. So
Well,
Girls are flat-chested, you know.
yeah, you know what? I get the impression that either way, this character is not meant to be particularly old. Like, not an adult.
yeah,
certainly,
that's
but,
true. That's
but
true.
maybe like a teen, right?
Okay.
I don't know for sure. Like, there's all kinds of theories floating around right now as to who the character might be.
Because of it.
Some of the
So let's
things,
Go.
sorry.
No, you can go.
One of the things that stand out to me is you don't see the Master Sword anywhere, which actually makes me really wonder where this fits into the timeline.
Oh God.
Because
It'd be pre-Skyward Sword now.
like, I could see it being after, like, right after Skyward Sword, or like a distance after Skyward Sword, or I could see it being like after Spirit Tracks.
The sword doesn't need to be present though, especially if that wasn't Link. Like, let's say if that was Zelda
Exactly.
or like another character or something like that. We don't need to necessarily see. Also, all the Zelda games rarely ever are a sequel with the same Link, so it could just be it could fall after Skyward Sword, and the Master Sword has been lost because the Link that had it has passed on, and this is the new Link hero, right? So
Yeah.
he would start off with nothing. Like, it's only 40 seconds. I don't think we're gonna. Like, I don't even think Nintendo really knows where everything fits in timelines, really.
I was actually wondering, if you look at, the sequence there, like, Link is like pulling all of these things, like bomb arrows and his bow and stuff like that, or he's pulling all this stuff out of the horse, which makes me wonder if the horse is some sort of like not just transport, but he might actually be like a storage
A
system.
companion kind of thing too. So I noticed like in the trailer too, like when Link like jumped off the horse, like he didn't jump off. Like the horse actually like pushed him off, and he flew up into the air.
Mm-hmm.
That looked kind of well. That kind of looked like
That yeah, it did look a little pre-rendered, but at least that part looked like a cutscene.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. A cutscene. Yeah.
Yeah, cutscene for sure.
That would be pretty badass if the horse can help you out and you can actually do that. Like, that's a move that you can do. You can press A button and your horse just like throws you off its back and you like go flying. That would be pretty cool.
I do like the bow and arrow though.
Yeah,
I don't know what about that. It looked weird. I'm not sure if it was like an ice arrow or something like that, but it looked freaking awesome.
It does. And so powerful too. Like, whoever this hero was just like took on that monster, which I thought looked intimidating as hell. And it's just like, no problem, I got this. Like, that was cool.
Courage.
Yeah.
But it's like at first he, no interest in fighting the thing until the bridge gets taken out in front, right? So let's just take off.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, the more I feel like it could be even a futuristic Zelda, kind of like the way the bow is designed and the mechanical tree-looking thing.
Well, kind of like maybe something like maybe Final Fantasy, where Final Fantasy 9 was, it's like an old school, but they had technology from like the future, kind of.
like they're starting to advance. Kind of.
Yeah.
Well, starting to. Yeah.
Hmm. That would make sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of little stuff in there. There's people, that are talking about some of the clothes and that the character is wearing, trying to link them back to previous games.
Jeez, eh?
I can link it back to like Twilight Princess. No, not Twilight. Was it Twilight? I'm thinking like mixture of like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker kind of. This is blue garb, Wind Waker like core, and then kind of like the old farmer style looking.
Which I'd have to get the Zelda timeline thing to figure out exactly which timeline this could possibly end up in.
Like
Wind Waker's not with Twilight, right? They're two separate timelines.
I don't remember.
That was like. No, it's in the timeline, but it's like after the Ocarina part when like splits up. Like whether the hero lost or the hero won, that kind of thing. I think that Wind Waker is like in the hero won part. This is like after like beat Ganon and then Ganon got released. And where's my Hyrule Historia?
I just grabbed
Looking at that right now, damn it.
Yeah, I am.
There's some pretty wild theories flying around right now as to who that character is if it's not Link. Okay, obviously if it's not Link, there's the possibility that it's Zelda.
Zelda would seem like the best choice. Why is? Go ahead.
Thing is, it looks like Link though, like somewhat. Like there's definite resemblance there, right? Like
yeah.
the hairstyle and everything.
Yeah.
Which makes you think if it's not Link and it's not Zelda, there's other people going like, oh, Link and Zelda had a kid or something like that, right? And it's like, you know what? It's not the craziest thought ever, but I don't see anything to base it on.
That would be interesting to finally have like a game where they have had a kid, and if Link and Zelda are still in the game, that would be something new that we've never seen in the Zelda game. I just don't know how receptive. I also don't think that, in my opinion, if the Wii U was doing really well, I could see them totally playing with this, and that would be really cool to play as a female character and as the lead role. But considering how bad the Wii U is doing, I really don't think that they should be fucking up with like messing around with that kind of stuff. Like,
well, if it's an either or, then it would be okay.
Pardon me?
Like if it was either or, like you could play as female Link or as male Link, then that would be okay.
Yeah,
obviously not female Link, but you know what I mean.
Like
transgender Link.
Yes. Yes. Transgender God.
Link has always been transgender. You just never knew.
Yeah.
He does like those skirts.
Like to me, if the Zelda and Link had a kid theory had any possibility whatsoever, there's only one place in the timeline it would work, but I won't say anything because it could be construed as spoilers for anybody who hasn't finished games around those spots.
Damn.
I think I know which part. Okay. It would make sense, yeah. Okay, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I won't even take a gander. Well, then that means I could probably assume which one it would be. Okay, anyway. Okay, yeah, let's not have spoilers. Just also because in the chat, 22 Master Brawl said meh meh meh, and Sam said, so guys, who do you think had the best E3? Now, do we want to get into that right now, or because we got 20 minutes left?
We should save it to the end, as long as he's going to be
possible.
here.
Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, another 10 minutes of like whatever you want to talk about. Do you want Zelda? I want to. Yeah, let's talk about the Nintendo stuff because there's a lot of good stuff from Nintendo there.
Zelda's from
Xenoblade looks awesome.
If you played the first one, you don't realize how hyped I am for that one right now.
Yeah. Well, I originally made a list a few months back of my most anticipated game for 2014 because I was hoping it was coming out in 2014. But Xenoblade was the top of my list. It was #1. So I really wanted this game, and now it's just even more so. And I think that's coming out next year now. I think.
Actually,
it's
I
not this year. What?
I completely forgot to check that date-wise. I'm not sure if they even mentioned it.
I'm pretty sure that they said next year. Subject of stuff that's getting released and stuff. Where was The Last Guardian? God damn
Honestly,
it!
I don't even care about it at this point anymore. Really, it's been so long. I just completely forgot about it.
That's
yeah,
the
but-
risk,
but-
right?
That's
Eventually they're going to drop it, and everybody's going to be like, I'm over it.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
IGN said it got canceled, and they got in trouble for saying that. And they're like, no, it's still going, and they just don't even mention it during the press conference. Instead, you do like 20 minutes of budget stuff.
Yeah,
That was
uh,
the worst part.
We
That
should talk
would've
about
been-
that. We didn't talk about that because we barely touched Sony because Sony had such a mediocre E3. Like there was some good stuff, but then there was like littered with that garbage.
I want to say the beginning was really good. The middle part was just god horrible. I just like started browsing the web listening to them. And then when I think that were they the one that introduced Mortal Kombat? So I think that's
Yes.
when I started watching it again. And then after that, then it got good again. But it was like in between. It's like there was really good.
No, right after Mortal Kombat, they talked about Power's fucking TV. That piece of shit. Oh my god. What kind of way? Let's waste 5 minutes of your lives and our limited time on E3 to talk about motherfucking TV shows that nobody's gonna fucking watch. Holy fuck, man! This is the most I've ever sworn. But Jesus Christ, I hated that shit.
Ditto.
Ah,
I've never seen you react to something so negative in my life.
it's such. That's so, like fine if you like that show or you like the comics and you're gonna watch the show. You're one of 2 people in the world that's gonna do it. That's great. Like all the power to you. But do not put that on a video game conference. Oh my god.
How few people are actually talking about this. Like, hasn't been a lot of talk about it. And like, I frequent a couple of video game message boards and stuff.
Yeah.
And on one of them, they were like, "Oh, what your predictions for E3, right?" And one of my predictions was Sony spends like 20 minutes talking about TV and apps and stats and stuff like that, and nobody minds. And for the most part, that's true. They can get away with it,
Yeah.
but like, and people have this thought process that Microsoft had a bad conference last year, but they really didn't, like in any way, shape, or form. Like they just got blown out of the water because like their conference was actually good. They spent their entire time last year on games.
Yeah.
And then Sony came out and was like, boom, no PS camera, $100
Yeah.
cheaper, all this
Yeah.
stuff. So nobody remembers it, right?
The thing that I think a lot of people misconstrued about last year's E3 was that Microsoft announced everything that was negative about the Xbox One before E3. If you take all of that away, if they would have taken all of that away before E3 and they would have just had that regular show of E3 that they had, just all the negative stuff taken away beforehand that wouldn't even be part of that E3, it would have been a great E3. I think last year, I can't remember who I said won E3, but Microsoft was one of the top runners because everything they showed, I was like, oh, this is awesome, new IPs, and it was just like I was really rooting. I really enjoyed last year's E3 from Microsoft because it was all about games.
Yep. It's been a good couple of years in terms of E3s for Microsoft, as far as I'm concerned. The last 2 have been pretty strong because they came out with the Xbox One and they were torn a new one, and they've really just been, paying reparations since that point, right?
I still think they should have announced. They should have held off. Okay, I know that they want to talk about games, but they could have started off the conference with, "We're lowering Xbox One $100." I think that would have just been an amazing way to have the segue of starting off.
But
This is going to be a fucking awesome E3.
the only thing I worried about that would be like, yeah, you're lowering $100 off, you're getting rid of the Kinect. Oh, by the way, we're also releasing Dance Central, which will require the Kinect. So we might as well buy the $99 bundle anyway.
Well, yes, but that's only specific people. The problem, the $100 thing is that it's people that don't want the Kinect. If you want the Kinect, yeah, you're gonna go out and spend the $100. That's fine. The $100 less Xbox isn't for you because you want the Kinect. There's a lot of people out there that don't want to spend that much money for something that they wouldn't use or use just a little bit of. Like for example, eventually I might pick up I might pick up a Kinect because I do like the dancing games, and if they ever came out with something else that was really cool, like Child of Eden, it's kind of something like that, maybe I would pick that up. I'm not sure.
I still say that the voice recognition is worth it.
It's cool, but it's not enough for me to warrant the $100. That I
Not
do
on its
agree
own.
it is.
Not
Yeah.
on its own, but
Yeah.
you'll pilfer games here and there over the course of the life cycle of the game, of the console cycle. That'll probably justify the price. Thing is, though, it costs you more in the long run, because I don't think you're gonna get the Kinect for $100. I think it's gonna be more.
Oh, I'm gonna wait until it's down to that point, because there's nothing that's telling me right now to pick it up. Like, even with all the dance games, they're cool and all, but it's not enough for me to jump on the bandwagon yet anyway.
True enough. So, you going somewhere?
No, you go.
So is it just me, or was Sony, like, as their conference was going along, just trying to outdo themselves in terms of gore, like every other trailer?
We'll put Mortal Kombat in here. And, like, holy crap, was that gory? But yes, I do agree, because there was other games too, right? Like
Bloodborne. Let
yeah,
It Die.
and
1886. That was it. The Order 1886. It's called.
yeah, Order 1886, Dead Island 2, the freaking Mortal Kombat, which was just insane. And Powers TV, where they just bled out of their ass. I mean, there's so much gore there. It's ridiculous.
Which reminds me, did anyone else think the Dead Rising 3 trailer was just fantastic, by the way, like the DLC?
Oh, awesome.
That was fantastic.
Yes. And the name.
Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 HD Remix.
Yeah,
Delta.
edition. Oh my god. Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's out now, by the way. Oh, okay.
And they did it for, like, I don't know, 30 seconds, but, like, there's Microsoft saying, using, okay, we're going to put this in for 30 seconds, but it's going to be freaking awesome. It's going to have a lasting effect, and we can move on to other things and not waste time on talking about a TV show that nobody's going to watch. It still bothers me. It's going to bother me for, like, years to come. Every time that's, like, Sony's going to have a press conference, I'm going to, like, cringe and worry, and as soon as they start talking about apps, there's a segue into TV shows,
Well,
I'm just going to be like, oh god.
Let me ask you this, though. Would you rather hear about the TV shows and the budget, or would you rather listen to what they did a few years ago with the little J.R. Rowling book with the little wand?
The what now?
Kevin knows what I mean. What they did like 2-3 years ago, when it was like the worst E3 ever, and they were trying to push PlayStation Move. They had the little wand, the little book. It's like, yeah, J.K. Rowling's, Harry Potter kind of thing. They're like moving the wand around.
Oh,
yeah,
That was
Wonder Book.
horrible. Yeah.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And I love how they've, like, brushed it under their carpet like it never even happened.
It's like they haven't learned from that yet.
Yeah.
What was it though? I don't remember this.
It was
And
a
I've seen
book.
It was a couple
of
of years
Spells.
ago now.
Book of Spells. Is that
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, it used the camera. It was like an AR game.
Yeah. At least it's a game.
Still,
as bad as that would be, it's horrible. But I've seen, like, fails. Like, remember, I think not too long ago either, a few years ago, they had Nintendo. One of the worst Nintendo conferences was when they came out with, like, Wii Music, and they had a guy, like, playing the drums, and he looked like he was just gone out there, and just I didn't want to say the word, but yeah, we can't say that word anymore. But anyway, he looked like a piece of shit, and he just looked like he's like having so much fun. And I'm like, I'm not gonna. No, that's not gonna happen. God, I hated that.
It's about understanding who's watching these shows, right? Like,
yeah,
the people watching these shows don't care about that. That's great. Make that game for those casual gamers who are gonna buy it and eat it up. But you're not looking at them.
Oh, freak! My God. There are times where they can fail really bad with a video game, and Book of Spells, Wii Music, those are examples. But at E3, putting on a TV show called Powers, and it's about superheroes with powers, but they don't have DC or Marvel. If they would have at least had that, I'd be like, well, at least people know this. I might be interested into this because Marvel is like $1 billion company because of the Avengers. So at least there's a lot of people that like that. But this we don't know any of them. And then they showed like one still, and he's like, "This shows you what we're kind of going for with this style, and it's really nice. We're really happy with this." I was like, "It's a guy going like this, and there's somebody in the background." I was like, "It looks like garbage to me."
Sort of Soldier Boy.
Well, like, like there's so I could take that entire 5-minute video and just pick apart every wrong thing they did. It's ridiculous. It's
the whole 5 minutes was wrong.
Oh yeah, it was so wrong. Like God, I hate that. God. Okay, we got 9 minutes to go.
Oh, so do you want to address some comments in the section?
Like my brother.
Yeah. I am not talking shit about Dance Central. I actually like it. I had Dance Central 1 and 2. I'm just saying, if you're selling the $3.99 bundle, and then be like, oh yeah, we're also doing Dance Central, don't do both. That's all I'm saying. I know you're messing with me, but come on, man.
That's my brother just trolling you. Never.
I know. Still,
but I agree to an extent, but I think that still works because it's like there's only certain Central, and the people that want Dance Central will get the Connect. So. I think it still makes sense. There's a demographic. If you want Dance Central, you're obviously going to get the Connect, or you already have it, type of thing. But there are those people that don't want that. What else did he say? With the recent news on video game streamer that got robbed live, what? Oh my God, how much is he?
So
my question is
best E3 conference.
An asshole. Sorry.
What measures have you guys taken to fortify your households and streams? He makes it interesting, though, at least. He's an interesting troll. I love my brother.
It's funny.
God. So, we could have almost a live stream of just answering his questions.
Yeah.
But not right now, because we got a few minutes to go, so... Or what were you going to say, Kevin? It looked like you were going to say something.
Well, I guess we're at the point where we could answer the who we thought had the best presentations thing. Right?
I'm a strong supporter of Book of Spells.
I decided.
Book of Spells. Nobody supports the Book of Spells. Now we know you're lying.
Did it come out?
I don't know. I honestly think it just never happened.
It's like
out of here.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna check that out. Oh, and just quickly speaking, I saw the sales for the Wii U during Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 did really well. It did like 1.1 million in sales the first week, but the Wii U only went up 200,000 that week.
Eek.
I read something that said like their sales went up by like 600% or something like that.
Yeah,
but the first week it came out though.
Yeah. But like that 600% was only came out to 200,000, so they must have been selling like.
Yeah.
I think it was 35,000 the last time I had checked.
In the same time
frame. It's a good
frame.
start, at least.
Is what? Sorry, Kevin.
I was saying in the same time frame, the Xbox One sales plummeted because people know the Connectless model is coming.
Yeah. I noticed that.
Like they went down to like really bad levels, like 30,000 or something.
That's understandable. That's understandable because then the sales are going to drop, but then they're going to go skyrocket basically afterwards.
Yeah.
And just a reference point: Book of Spells sold 530,000 copies. How?
Seriously?
Yes. How is that possible?
How many did Sony buy?
How many did your brother buy?
My brother has about 10,000 stored, so I mean that there's 520,000 I can't account for.
You know what? One day there'll be a collector's item.
Oh.
And he will have all of them.
He's gonna have the monopoly on eBay.
He's gonna sell the whole collection to some guy.
You're laughing now, but you know.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. So I got a few minutes left. Who do you think won E3?
Short answer.
Nintendo.
Nintendo. You say Nintendo, Jason.
Mhm.
Kevin. Who do you say?
I have to go with the one that released Zelda. Nothing else matters.
So that 40-second trailer, and
Nothing else.
I'm oh God, I'm torn between Nintendo and Microsoft. Sony just lost it. Not even if you even took Powers out of it, although Powers just brings it to a whole new low. I just felt that they talked about way too much garbage, and I found that they didn't really show enough exclusives. They had a lot of multi-platform, which is okay, but like not when the focus is on that. Like at the end of it, they had like after Powers, like oh God, Powers TV was like the downhill of everything. Because then they talked about like they had Mortal Kombat, PlayStation Plus, Ratchet and Clank movie. If they would have had a game, I would be like, the movie looks cool and it can
Well,
work.
they're redoing the number one. They're remaking Ratchet and Clank, the first one.
Was that in the conference?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's just like an HD like bump up or something. But it's coming for the. I don't remember.
Okay. Well,
it's being done.
But honestly, I think Ubisoft actually did better than most of the major ones. Honestly, I thought Ubisoft was really good too. Far Cry, Rainbow Six, Assassin's Creed.
They had good energy.
Obviously, they had another Just Dance. They had some workout game, but
for the most part,
yeah, I think they had a pretty solid conference.
As a simple developer, that's
yeah. The third party, I think they had a really good conference.
Yeah.
And Aisha Taylor and whatever, but Mm-hmm.
I think
EA didn't even do that bad too. I thought they did an alright job.
No, a little tease of Mass Effect. Jerks.
I think
at least Powers TV. They could have talked about Powers TV for like 10 minutes and just ruined your day.
I think the great thing about the EA and Ubisoft conferences is everybody can be excited about them because 99.9% of the stuff they show in those is multi-platform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Except for the Wii U fans. Because they don't get any of it. Well, let's be fair here.
Much later.
So
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Nintendo as well. Not just for Zelda, but like Zelda looks great, but they had like what is it? Okay, so they had Mario Maker, which I think looks freaking awesome. Splatoon, I cannot wait. Like
I didn't even mention anything about that. I forgot about that one. Splatoon
looks great. Like a first-person shooter.
Right. But remember, it's a shooter that isn't violent, so Nintendo's good with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It can't be a first-person gun Call of Duty type thing.
What about Devil's Share?
It's third person. No, I know that they're both third person. Damn it! It's not first person, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, Smash Bros. Yoshi's Yarn.
Yeah.
Captain Toad, which was awesome.
Yes. But I don't know. As much as I liked Captain Toad, like the Captain Toad segments in Super Mario 3D World, I don't know if there's enough there to create a game. Well, I guess because like every time that I got to play Captain Toad, I was just like so excited. I was like, yes, another level like this.
Oh. Hyrule Warriors, honestly, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
That looks absolutely gorgeous.
And there's co-op, not online co-op though. I think it's just regular.
I think it's a local co-op. Yeah.
And Mario Maker.
Ah, I know. And I like that you can switch between like 8-bit and like the new version.
Yeah. And if that game doesn't have like a full-blown like shared like user-created space like Little Big Planet and stuff does, and it's a huge fail.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Nintendo not having that.
Oh God!
A great idea, and then just not taken far enough.
Because who would you share it with? Like, oh, I'm gonna get my mother to come play my new Mario like thing, and it's way too hard for her. But like they have to.
Yeah, you think it's a no-brainer, right?
The one thing I did like though, other than those, was also Bayonetta 2. Not just the gameplay, but that they actually include the first one in it too. I really liked that they did that.
Yeah. Yeah, right at the end there. So there's a lot of like there. Okay, so what's coming out this year? Nintendo actually surprised me because I didn't expect that much from Nintendo. That's coming out this year or next year. So this year we still have Super Smash Brothers. We have Bayonetta,
Bayonetta 2.
Hyrule Warriors,
Yep.
and I think that's it for the
Yeah.
for the Wii U. 3DS, there's others, but like I think those are the three. And then next year we have Yoshi's Woolly World.
Zelda.
Legend of Zelda, Kirby, Xenoblade Chronicles, Mario Maker, Splatoon, possibly Star Fox. Like that's a lot next year.
Yeah. Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix Wright
Did they just release the trilogy?
for
The 3DS. I think they just did. They released all of the Phoenix Wright games on 3DS.
on eShop.
Yeah. I actually might try that because I've never played the Phoenix Wright game, so that's a perfect opportunity for me to try them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm actually wanting to like they're really cheap on Amazon though, so that's I think I'm gonna start buying. That's besides the point though. Okay, so we're pretty much all in consensus though that like Nintendo won E3 this year. I think that Microsoft did a good job though. I think that they're second place, but they're like a close second in my opinion because they really focused all about games and there was a lot of exclusives there, and I Master Chief Collection. I mean, that's like it's like you know how you feel about Legend of Zelda. That's how I feel about Master Chief Collection.
I figure Microsoft is a pretty comfortable number 2 behind Nintendo.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm happy with Microsoft is they're finally starting to get to other genres other than shooters. They're actually starting to focus on like platformers. So like there was one really pretty looking game. I forget what it was called. It was like what was it?
It had pretty.
It was like really pretty looking. It was like two things. I remember it was like a big black blob over seeing. I forget what the hell it was called. Let me see if we can find it. But
was it an indie game?
I think so. They had it during the presentation.
There's something that looked like Limbo 2.
No, not that
I
one.
wrote down everything. Hang on. Ori?
Find it.
Maybe Ori.
It might have been Ori.
Was that like there's like a big black blob and he kind of meets this other little white character and then
it was
at
Ori.
the very end it shows that like
that
the character's
that one I thought actually looked pretty cool.
Yeah. I forgot if that was PS4 or Xbox One. Okay, so that's Xbox One. Xbox One, the indie games that they showed looked really good, and then PS4, other than No Man's Sky, I was like, what is this? It looked so like such crap.
The Devolver stuff?
No Man's Sky Slim.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
looked so bad.
What
I was
it?
like, what?
the Devolver, like they had a bunch of Devolver type games.
Maybe
and
that's
it just
why I
looked-
clicked off.
Well,
There was one point just when they started talking about the budget stuff, I just like clicked off and just like started doing other.
did you see No Man's Sky though? Because after No
I
Man's
saw
Sky,
that. That looks
Okay.
awesome. I'm gonna get that if I get PS4 or if it goes multi-platform.
Yeah. No Man's Sky, like for me, this year's E3 was like a lot of the new Nintendo stuff: Mario Maker, Splatoon, No Man's Sky, and I think that's it. Those three games are just so new, I guess, that I'm just really looking forward to those games. I'm obviously looking forward to Master Chief Collection, The Legend of Zelda, but those are givens, you know. These are new things that we've never.
True.
So happy that like I guess we're getting different types of games because we're getting a lot of sequels of everything or things that are in franchises, and which is awesome. And those are the things that sell systems. But I'm really happy that we're getting different experiences with these other games too. That's what I take from E3 this year is new stuff and Powers TV. It's tainted with Powers TV. If Powers TV wasn't on this year's E3, I'd say it's the best E3 of all time, but I can't because Powers TV is there.
Powers has that big of an impact, eh?
You and I were messaging each other, and you could tell probably how angry I was just from like the texts that I was sending. Yeah,
I could feel the rage just building as like they kept talking about it, and it was pretty two-sided. I was throwing some I was definitely talking as well, but I was like, how are they spending this much time on something this terrible?
And we're like, we haven't seen Uncharted 4 yet. We haven't seen The Last Guardian. Like, They didn't show Last Guardian at all. If they're still working on Last Guardian, they should have come out and been like, you know, IGN screwed up. We're still making the game. Here's 5 minutes of it. Or just a minute. Just take away Powers TV and throw... We barely saw Uncharted 4. Like, there's a lot of... Vita. The Vita got, like... They talked... Well, there's 3 games coming up for the Vita, and they talked about the 3 biggest games, but then they didn't show anything of it.
Yeah.
We'll get 5 minutes for Powers TV.
It's like,
Vita.
They're going through the PS Now stuff. It's like, oh, we're committed to the PS Vita, and then they announce nothing.
Yeah. It's... Whereas, at least Nintendo didn't really focus on the 3DS this time around, which is okay because it doesn't really need the help. It's at like almost 50 million units sold, so they don't need the help. Yeah, but like they have Super Smash Bros. Coming out for the 3DS and Pokemon. So I mean, they pretty much have the 3DS's fan base taken care of this year. They're fine. And then pretty much afterwards, like, should we still count what Nintendo has afterwards, because they still had Mario Party 10. Technically, they confirmed Star Fox that way. They had all the 3DS games that we haven't mentioned, which I think is Fantasy Life, the Phoenix Wright, and Professor Layton game. Like, there's a lot. Do we count that as part of Nintendo? If we do, then they really won hands down.
I was gonna say Nintendo just announced a new IP.
Oh, what is it?
They don't have a name. It's codenamed Steam.
Really?
Brand new
Valve?
IP for the 3DS. I don't think there's any. I was actually thinking Valve too, but no. All this is codenamed Steam right now, but I don't think they're showing any videos today.
I know they.
But tomorrow they said definitely.
Sorry.
Okay, well, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out then. That's kind of cool that they kind of still had a few things that they held back.
Okay, yeah.
Also, IGN had that. Oh, go ahead.
Saying tomorrow's Nintendo Treehouse Live event will feature a demo of the new Nintendo IP codenamed Steam being announced tonight.
What does it look like? Have you seen what it looks like yet?
No, don't have anything yet, actually.
They just announced we're working on a game called Steam.
Yeah, that's all they said.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think it's anything else.
There's been some talk about the Miyamoto things that he's been working on too, right? Like with like Project Garden and stuff like that, which is like security cameras or something, but apparently it's like one of the most fun things on the E3 show floor.
I really want to see what that is. And also, just before I go, because I really gotta go now, but the gamepad, I know. No, if I go fast enough, I'm good. The Star Fox, a lot of people are saying that they've played it, and they say it's back to the traditional flying around, but apparently there's changes, specifically with the Wii U, that people might not like, and I'm thinking what it is that the gamepad has the gyro, and you kind of have to use that, or you have to use the... Ooh. Yeah, because the way... If you look at how Miyamoto's playing it, I heard about like what they were talking about, like that apparently it's really different. They didn't go into specifics, but I imagine, okay, it's probably because of the gamepad. And then if you look back to when Miyamoto's playing it, he's kind of like he has the gamepad right in front of him almost.
Yeah.
So it's as if he's looking more at the gamepad, and he was kind of moving the gamepad too. Like you could say, okay, it's just because he's really into the game, but I think it's because it's actually part of the game that you might have to like play like this and move around and aim. Which
I really hope that's not the case.
I'm really not liking that idea. It could be fun, it could work out, and it could be the best thing ever, or it could really be bad.
The one thing I think I noticed during it looked like you were like playing like normal Star Fox on the screen, but when you looked at the handheld, the little gamepad he was using, it looked like it was more like a first-person view, kind of like when you change your camera angle.
Yeah,
kind of looked like he's playing like first-person on his gamepad, and then on the screen he was playing like your regular traditional Star Fox. I don't know.
That's what it seems like.
That's what I'm hoping.
That's what I would be hoping for too. But I think that the TV screen is just going to be like a secondary thing, and you're actually going to be like looking at the gamepad or using the gamepad either with the gyro or just using the gamepad to actually control. And you're not really going to be using the TV to like steer yourself. Like obviously you'll see yourself steer, but it won't be enough. Like it's going to be too far away or something. Like it'll be more so for other people to kind of see. I don't know. I could be wrong. This is all speculation. It's just I've heard that there's something messed up with it that some people won't like.
Maybe the gyro controls will be optional.
That would be nice too. I mean, it was optional in Star Fox 3DS, so if that's the case, I'm fine with that because that's and Kevin just dropped out, but I would be fine with if that was the case.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
It might be a JRPG actually. Sorry, I was just looking at the Steam thing.
Oh, Steam, yeah.
Yeah, it
That
looks
would
like
be cool. A JRPG.
yeah.
Oh God, and I gotta go.
Okay. All right.
I'll just give Kevin a chance here.
I think he's just trying to join back yet.
Yeah.
I did read one other thing as well, real quick, about like the Smash Brothers characters. Apparently, there was a list that got leaked last year. All the characters that were leaked on that list have been confirmed right now, except for a few.
Okay, so
now,
there's still.
So right now, if this list is correct, 5 characters that could be in the game could be more Pokemon from Pokemon X and Y. The Chorus Men from Rhythm Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Chrom from Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yes.
Palutena, who just got confirmed. And
Yeah.
then Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles.
That'd be pretty cool too. I haven't even played Xenoblade, but more.
He's like the main character in the
Yeah.
game. But yeah.
More JRPG characters in Smash Brothers is good because that lets those like IPs become more fleshed out and people like, oh, well, who's that character from, and then it lets Nintendo kind of like
playing it. They're like, oh yeah, it's this
yeah, exactly, yeah. So that's
like, what the hell is a Pac-Man? Like okay, like fucking old.
Okay, so I gotta go. Did you guys have anything else to say just before we end this?
I prefer Just Dance over Dance Central.
Oh God, Book of Spells.
40 seconds worth of Zelda footage is Game of Show.
That must be a Game of Thrones pun.
It's in the top 5. It's in the top 5 for me. I mean, No Man's Sky really blew me out of the water. Like that just. But I mean, from what we saw from the Zelda and how excited I was, that's impressive for 40 seconds. 40 seconds, and everybody was freaking out. Like that's the power of Nintendo and the power of Zelda, I'd say.
That's the moment that you want a press conference for. Not a video.
Yes.
People went crazy, kind of like when they did when Twilight Princess got announced.
Yeah.
I think they could have had a reaction like that.
Yeah. But they had so much this year that they could have really taken 90 minutes and just showed like Sony and Microsoft, you know what, you guys have the most powerful consoles, it doesn't matter. It comes down to the games, and there you go.
Look at all these exclusives.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, you got Power TV over there? We got Zelda over here.
So apparently the game, that codename Steam game, is apparently made by Intelligent Systems.
Oh, cool.
That's like the developer for it, looks like.
They made Paper Mario, right?
I think so.
Fuck yeah.
That's interesting.
I wonder if it's Paper Mario. It's not Paper Mario. I want a new Paper Mario. That would be awesome, actually.
So you think it could be like a JRPG or a strategy type of game? You don't know. Then again, they didn't even talk about that Shin Megami Fire Emblem game. Completely forgot about that.
It might not be ready yet. That's my take from it. I think that they're still they're working on so many freaking things at the moment.
Yeah.
That, like,
kind of like you gotta
I'm
get
okay with that. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I gotta go. Thank you all for watching. Thank you guys for joining me. We'll have to have another live stream at some point at the end of the month here. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about stuff that we missed, or just whatever else is going on at that point. Maybe there's gonna be more speculation on what that 40-second trailer really meant.
I'm sure there will be.
Oh yeah.
We should have an entire live stream devoted to shit talking Destiny.
And Powers TV.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to shit talk Destiny. It's just my hype for it was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. But then like all this hype, they were kind of creating a hype wagon without like the fans.
I feel like it's really starting to turn into more of a Borderlands, but I don't like the way they're going with it.
I don't know how to feel. That okay, that's another video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's begin.
Another live stream at the end of the month.
All right.
You're all
Pencil it.
all right.
Check my schedule.
Assholes.
I'm off 4 days next week, so don't worry about it.
There we go. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you all for watching. See everyone. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Jaguar.